Hey you guys, it's Peter and Pee-Pee, and welcome to my channel, Peter Likes Books. Pee-Pee is very scared right now because there is a thunderstorm happening outside, so he had to be in the video, didn't you? Can I have kisses? Kisses? Aww. So anyway, I wanted to do my July wrap-up because I actually read more than one book. I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. I know. I won't. Now, had I actually completed more of the tasks at hand for Booktube-a-thon, I would have had many books, but let's see. I actually just went in here and I was looking at it, and now I am out of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I read 6 books in July. Not great, but not horrible. For me, it was pretty good. But a lot of them were catch-up books. So I'm just going to start at the beginning, and I actually don't think I did I do a June? I did do a June wrap-up. So the first book that I completed in July was The Gilded Razor, a memoir by Sam Lansky. If you guys don't know, I have been sober since I was 22 years old. I have been sober for 22 years and 7 months. I'm very active in my sobriety and a 12-step program, so if you have any questions about that or need any help, please don't feel free to contact me. I'm pretty open about that. I love reading alcoholic and addict recovery memoirs and things like that. I'm always on that lookout for like the best new one. The best one I've read in the last probably 10 years, 5 years. Before that, it was Drinking a Love Story. I loved that book. But last summer, a book came out. It was called Blackout, Remembering the Things I Drank to Forget. It's phenomenal. But this year, I was hearing all this buzz about this guy. I think this book actually came out like 2 years ago. Let's see, does it say on here? No. The Gilded Razor by Sam Lansky, and it's this very kind of sad book. Sam Lansky was the pop culture editor for Time magazine. I think he now works for SoundCloud, something like that. It's some music thing. And he's a really good, go check him out on Instagram, he's adorable. Really good looking, young gay man, and his story is similar to mine, but very different too. And it's a lot about sexual addiction when he was in high school and further than that, and drug addiction, and just this total, like, it's just a very sad story of this downward spiral that his life takes as a result of drugs and alcohol. I ranked it 5 stars. I listened to it on Audible. I will say that if I didn't love these memoirs as much as I do, it would have been a struggle to get through at times. The next book that I finished was The Last Fifth Grade of Emerson Elementary by Laura Siobhan. I loved this book. It is really aimed towards elementary or middle school kids, and not middle school kids, not at all. I mean, it's really like 3rd, 4th grade, maybe 5th. And it's about this class, and it's their last 5th grade at this high school before they go over to the middle school, and they every year always do this ceremony at the end of the school year where they walk through this hallway to the middle school. It's very sweet, right? But they're tearing the school down to make a supermarket because the neighborhood doesn't have a supermarket, and so these kids, through poetry, the whole thing's done through poetry. And it could be, like, if you're a teacher out there in elementary school, it could be a teaching book for poetry. It's phenomenal. And every student is different. Every student is very diverse. It's just a really phenomenal read. If you have a child that's in elementary school and you're looking for a book to read to them at night, I think this is a great book. And it starts like in the fall and it goes all the way through until they're done with school that year. The next book is The Great American Whatever by Tim Federal. I actually did this as a buddy reads last summer with Rob at Books and Bob's. He read it and I didn't finish it, and he was like, don't even worry about it. He's like, it's just not that great. Now, Tim Federal is really famous for this elementary school book about this kid coming out, I think. I did not dislike The Great American Whatever. I mean, if you like YA LGBT books, it's good. It's not, what did I end up giving it? I ended up giving it 4 stars. But I read the last, I mean, this was something I've been reading since last summer, so I literally like finished it, I think in a day. I just sat out there and forced myself to finish it. So I kind of really got into the book that way by reading it very quickly. I think that's kind of what you have to do. It's very sad. It's a book about grieving as well. I did not like the format. The kid is like, wants to be a screenwriter, and so it goes, but I don't like these books that do this, okay? I was just talking about this the other day with The Lies in Our Monsters. It's almost kind of like, it feels very cutesy, gimmicky to me when books do this, where they like do, like they have a script in part of it. I don't like that. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel genuine to me. So for that reason, I think that's why I gave it a star or two less. It wasn't horrible. It wasn't the best book I've ever read. So, okay, and then, you guys are gonna love this one. The next book I finished was The Mistletoe Secret by Richard Paul Evans. It's a Christmas book. It's this book about this guy, and he lives in Florida, and his wife has left him. She had an affair on him. And he's like a traveling salesman. Has anybody read this book? Okay, now, you know, like every Christmas, these books come out at like Walmart, and you know, like all those books, the Nora Roberts books, and all that kind of stuff. Debbie McComber, I always make fun of hers. But anyway, like this was actually a really good Christmas book. Like I'm just going to Richard Paul Evans from now on. Because if I always want to read like a holiday book around the holiday season, and like this was really a good one. Like, and he has another one, I can't remember what it was called, that I read back in the day. But anyway, it's about this guy, and he's like, his friends all want him to like meet somebody on Tinder or like Plenty of Fish. And he is like reading this blog this one night by this girl, and she's talking about how lonely she is, and she's gonna have to leave town and all this kind of stuff. And so he has until New Year's to find her. So he has to narrow down the town, who she is, it's very endearing, and he meets all of these people along the way. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. But like if I had read it at Christmas time, I probably would have given it a 5 out of 5 stars. So. Okay, and then Julie Murphy's Ramona Blue. Okay, can we talk about this book for a second? This book is getting really shitty reviews. I do not understand it, okay? This book addresses so many issues, okay? I mean, it addresses just overall diversity, sexuality, labeling sexuality, interracial couples. I mean, it addresses so many things on here. It addresses like racial oppression. It addresses some of the issues that The Hate You Give addresses. Ramona Blue is this character you will never fucking forget in your entire life. I mean, she's 6'3" and has blue hair, okay? And she lives in a trailer park with her dad and her pregnant sister. It's fantastic. I mean, I really do not know what people expect from books anymore, all right? It's like, I don't know why this is such an issue to me, but Julie Murphy's book Dumpling, her last book, when I go into bookstores and they have that in young adult, I literally about lose my shit, okay? That is not a young adult book. I don't care what anybody says, Dumpling is not a young adult book. And Ramona Blue, even though it's written about, it's like, okay, Ariel Bissett did this amazing, amazing review of Catcher in the Rye, where she talked about how Catcher in the Rye is really at its core a YA book. And I was like, oh my God, I had never thought of it that way, right? Well, similar to that, Ramona Blue and Dumpling are and are not YA books. Does that make sense? Like, they're written about adolescent characters, but they're not written about adolescent characters from an adolescent point of view. There are so many things that would be missed, I think, had I read this book at 15 or 16 versus reading it today. But I think that, like, had I read this book at 14 or 15, like, I think that it would have really inspired and changed some things in me. She is a character who, from the beginning, her life completely changes over the course of the book. You know, who you see at the beginning is not who you see at the end. It's just so fantastic. The way that Julie Murphy addresses sexuality, thank you, somebody, okay? Thank you for somebody giving it a real, honest look, not being bullshitty about it, you know, like, and being unafraid about the criticism that she may receive as a result of writing this way, and that's all I can say. I love Ramona Blue. It's my standout favorite book of the summer. It's fantastic. You have to read this book. It's so good. I don't really understand why it's getting such bad reviews, and I listened to it on Audible, and that even made it better. And then the final book that I read for July, was my one and only book that I completed for Booktube-a-thon, and that is A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. And, you know, it was interesting because so many people wanted me to read this book. I was actually going to read some of the comments on here. Gaia sent it to me last year, so thank you, Gaia. And she sent me the illustrated version. It's absolutely beautiful. Had I not had the book sent to me, I probably wouldn't have read it. It wasn't something that I would have like just gone out and read on my own, even though it had phenomenal reviews. I gave it a 5 out of 5, 100% out of 100%. I mean, it is a must read. I talked to my, so if you don't know, I vlog daily on a vlog channel called Peter Vlogs, listed below. And one night I was talking on there about I don't want to ruin the book because I don't like to give spoilers, but for me, it addresses a lot of the issues that I have had with my own mother, and her sicknesses and things like that. And so it really hit a chord with me, and it just was so beautifully done. And I said in my vlog that I felt that it was a contemporary classic, that I felt like in a few years it would be a book that was being taught in schools. If it isn't already, I think it should be. I think the way that it deals with fear and grief is amazing. I think that it would be hard for a 10-year-old to read this book and understand really, but as an adult looking back on your life reading it, it's just so endearing and honest and raw. It's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's one of the most beautiful books I've ever read in my entire life. It's just so beautifully done. And it's so not what I thought it would be. You know, when I saw A Monster Calls, I thought, oh, this is gonna be, I had no clue what it was gonna be about. And that is what I love, is when I go into a book and I have no idea what the book is gonna be about, and I am just like genuinely surprised and just left amazed. And I was, and I have not shut up about this book. I've been telling everybody to read it, and Ramona Blue, so. Anyway, that is my July wrap up. I am hoping to get a lot of books read in August. I am like so behind on my reading challenge for 2017. Unless I read like 40 books this month, it's probably not gonna happen. Oh well. I mean, we read for fun, right? We don't read for deadlines. So, I love you guys. Follow me on all my social media. I'm super active. Snapchat, Instagram, all of that kind of stuff. Instagram, Peter Monn, and Instagram, Peter Likes Books. And yeah, follow my daily vlog and my main channel. I love you guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye.